hurt my foot and I was not going to come tonight. And so I'm glad I did. I didn't realize I did all of that. It's a little more, it's interesting to hear somebody else say everything that you've done. Anyway, I really wanted to say thank you so much for this recognition, and to ICIT and to the other award recipients tonight. I feel very honored to be in your presence. I mean, I've tracked your all's careers and stuff too. So this is really, it's really wonderful to be here. As far as your organization and relationships, I can attest to that. When you hit 5 years as a nonprofit, it is quite a milestone. And so next year we should have a big celebration for them as they go forward, because the work that they're doing is really instrumental. It's critical to what we're doing. I didn't realize everything that you were doing as you were saying this, and I can see us becoming a partner going forward in the job that I have now. And so I came back into government because when you are being asked, hey, do you think that you can fix the cybersecurity issues for the energy sector for the nation? And you say, sure. Sure, I could do that. I mean, seriously, it was like, you know, it's everything that we all have talked about. It's everything that we know needs to be done. We know what needs to be done. It's everything that you outlined today, but what it really comes down is going to be leadership and working with the people. We know what needs to be done. We've been analyzing this problem for years. We know how to go forward and do it. And one of the questions that I was asked is, why do you want to come back in? And I said, because if I knew then what I know now after being out in private industry, just think of how more effective I would have been. And so now I have a shorter time period, so like my staff's heads are already reeling over the stuff that we want to do, but it's like I'm being given the opportunity of a lifetime. And I know if any one of you were asked that same question, you would have came in a heartbeat and said yes as well. So I am truly honored to be here. This is the Secretary's #1 priority. This administration has really embraced cybersecurity as a priority. And the big difference in all the time when I was out and everything that everybody talked to me about, they said, what is the #1 thing that's going to make this work? And I said, it's accountability. And everything that everybody was doing was going around the edges. And you guys remember the commission that President Obama, the Obama Commission, that's what we were calling it in transition, but President Obama's Commission on Cybersecurity, and they held a hearing, and all of those people, they were asking all these questions, and GAO guys were there, and former OMB people were there, and everybody was saying, who's in charge, who's in charge, who's in charge? Who should the nation hold accountable to this? And, you know, they were saying, let's form a new CISO position, and we had to do this. And I didn't say a whole lot, which I know you all find hard to believe. And I waited until I was asked, and then they said, who is in charge, Karen, in your eyes? And I said, it's the President of the United States. And that's who you need to hold accountable. And I said, and every secretary, when they take the job, they need to be held accountable. And that they cannot just say, like, there are CEOs of companies, you guys, like your stockholders and the board do not say, hey, we're going to make you a CEO of the company. And oh, by the way, I don't like this cybersecurity stuff over here, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to give it over here to a CISO, and they're going to take care of it for me. I mean, it doesn't work that way out in industry. It doesn't work that way in any other place. So why should it work that way within the federal government? And so that is, if you read the national strategy, one of the biggest things in that is moving into accountability and action. From planning and process to accountability and action. And I will tell you that Secretary Perry talks to me about this all the time. And our acronym, just so that you know, is CSER. I run the Office of CSER. And And that's what they say there. And now we had, there was a conference in Las Vegas, and a bunch of people went over to Caesar's Palace and had their picture taken and texted it to me. So I have a lot of national experts all across the energy sector with Caesar's statue on my phone. It's just so, it's really pretty funny. But the thing though is that his number one question is and his number one concern is when a natural disaster is happening, because I have hurricane response. So my first week I had Florence, then I had Michael, then I had a pipe explode, a gas pipeline explode up in the Northeast, and so that was all. And then the national strategy rolled out, and that was all within the first month. And then I had to testify on the fourth week. So it's like you hit the ground running on this, and he always talks to me about this, and his concern is that when a natural disaster is happening, that our adversaries will take advantage of that, and that he wants to be able to discern between what is happening as we're reconstituting services and know what the root cause is of what's going on. And so he said, that's what I want you to do. That's what I lose sleep over at night. That's what I want this office to address. And he goes, and I know we can do that. So the only way that's going to work is that this critical infrastructure. So it's owned by 90% of it is owned by private industry. So the only way it's going to work is if my office partners with industry, partners with think tanks such as yourself, shares the information, and I leverage what's happening in the national labs to share out with everybody so that we can collectively be able to move the energy sector forward. So I appreciate the recognition. I appreciate being honored with you two tonight. I mean, I can't think of two better people that I could be on the agenda with. So I really appreciate that because you're leaders yourself. So thank you again. And thank you. And it is all about relationships because it was like a big class reunion in here. So don't be surprised if I don't call you guys because I'm not going to be able to get done what I need to do without the relationships that we have. So thank you again.